Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record, a land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Monday, the 22nd day of February 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Earlier this morning, the roads were wet in some areas because of the rain. I'm not sure if that weather condition continues because we're inside the studio, so unable to know what's going on outside there, but we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Those of you who like to tailgate when you're driving, ensure that you leave that additional space between you and the vehicle that is in front of you. Anytime you hit someone from the rear, you are always at fault because you, while the driver in front of you may have also contributed to the accident, you have the responsibility of ensuring that you keep a safe distance between you and the vehicle that is in front of you. And what will determine that distance, in addition to the rules, 1 car length for every 10 miles an hour, and once you get over 40 miles an hour, which you shouldn't get in the Cayman Islands, because I'm not sure that we have too many 50 mile per hour speed limits in the Cayman Islands. But once you get up to that speed, then you increase the distance between them. Of course, when the roads are wet, again, you need additional stopping distance as well. But the whole idea is you should not be tailgating in the first place, whether you're driving behind someone trying to intimidate them to drive faster, or some people just have terrible driving habits as well. So again, the whole objective is please be careful out there. Observe the rules of the road. The life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the weekend, a belated happy birthday as well. Those of you who are infirmed, either at home or at a medical facility, we want to wish for you a speedy recovery. And of course, those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you, and we hope and we trust that their memories will help to carry you through these very challenging times as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy and possibly wet roads of the Cayman Islands this morning. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, the phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on a telephone, email us at fortherecord, one word, for the record at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We will have some guests in the studio later on. Until then, I will share vital information with you, starting with the COVID-19 update. And this is for the 19th of February. I don't think I have an updated one since then. Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee reported 345 COVID-19 tests had been carried out since this was last reported on Thursday, the 18th of February, 2021. 3 of those tested were positive. 3 out of the 345 were positive. The individuals are travelers who tested positive following routine screening. They will remain in isolation until they are considered recovered. The number of persons in isolation, either at a government facility or in their homes, as required by the Medical Officer for Health, is at 731. The total number of COVID-19 vaccines administered to date, 18,159, and I'm sure that it's about that because this was for the since the 18th of February, so I'm sure it's increased. 7,638 persons having completed the 2-day dose course so far as well. And again, we want to continue to encourage you to get the vaccine if you feel that you should. If there's any hesitancy on your part, you may want to consult with your physician or family or a friend to find out whether or not they have taken the vaccine, their reactions to it as well. But bear in mind that by doing so, you're not only protecting yourself, but you're protecting others as well. And for those of you who are 60 plus, remember that you can go at any day that is scheduled, at any time. You can go and have the vaccine done as well. If you have had your first dose already, the date and time for your second dose will be indicated on the card that you received as well. While I am on that subject, I want to read a special note that was sent to me, and I will, in this case, I'm sure that the writer does not mind. Mr. Booth Hurlston has written, and it says, to Radio Cayman and the Cayman Islands government, I wish to congratulate and thank the Cayman Islands government for their handling of the virus crisis in these islands. When this terrible plague descended upon the world, our Premier, Alden McLaughlin, and his members of Parliament, the Health Minister, Dwayne Seymour, his staff, and Dr. Lee requested and received help and guidance from the public health in England. They all took this advice seriously and implemented measures that were relevant for the Cayman Islands by quickly passing and enforcing any necessary laws. Therefore, as of today, there is no one with the virus on the streets of the Cayman Islands. As soon as the vaccine was available, the government arranged to bring it to the islands. At the age of 87 and suffering from COPD and abscessus-related lung disease, if I had caught the virus on a Monday, I would have surely been dead by Friday. Therefore, I stepped up and received my 2 shots, and I suffered only a slight sore arm and a mild headache for a few hours. So I say to all my fellow Caymanians, if you ever want to leave the island for a trip abroad, you better go and get your shot. Who knows? You just might be saving your own life. Sincerely, Mr. Booth Hurlston. What a huge and resounding testament. He's congratulated the government of the Cayman Islands for taking up the mantle immediately and acting on this COVID-19 situation. He's congratulated the public who went along with the government's program as well. And as a result, we are now reaping the fruits of our success. He's congratulated the government, the premier, the minister, the health practitioners, Dr. Lee, everyone. And at the end of the day, he, at 87 years of age, right, he went and got the vaccine himself and is encouraging others to do so as well. We know that there is still some vaccine hesitancy out there, and we want to encourage you, but we want to thank Mr. Booth Hurlston for this note that he has sent, and if I get the opportunity, I will share it with you later on again today, because this is so positive. Here's a gentleman, 87 years of age, and suffering, has, other health issues as well, and realizing that, with those other health issues, he is even more vulnerable, and he has stepped up to the plate, done his part, and encouraging others to do the same as well. So I want to thank Mr. Booth Hurlston for that. Something else I want to share with you this morning. Also, on Friday, you heard Dr. Steve McPhail and I talk about the situation of asylum seekers and the situation with the gentleman who was protesting and seeking help for his spouse, and wanting to have a family member, a child of the marriage. Not sure if it's a child of the marriage, but to have a child accompanying him here in the Cayman Islands. Since then, we have the government has released a statement, CBC, Customs and Border Control, and I only have a half minute to read this, Ms. Susan. So what we'll do, Ms. Susan, we'll take the commercial break, and then I will read this statement from CBC on the exemption granted to the spouse of the asylum recipient. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Trevor Ewan Foster, 1937-1995. Trevor Foster, a son of Mr. Cappy and Miss Agatha Foster of Cayman Brac, served the sister islands as a member of the Legislative Assembly for 2 terms, from 1968 till 1976. He was the first elected member for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman to be elected to Executive Council. During his time as an MLA, he represented the Cayman Islands at several Commonwealth conferences. Trevor was also a retailer who carried on his father's general store and bakery at the Creek, a real estate developer who contributed much to the growth and development of the sister islands. He and his wife, Mary Lou, had 2 daughters.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
As we ride the hamster wheel, scampering along the treadmill of living, we try to reset to this new normal, this new life. Where getting away is staying right here. Where vacation is staycation, staying safe. Where focus is surviving minutes, hours, days of anxiety. Step away and say hello to the latest exhibition of the National Gallery. Say hello to Alchemy by Cayman's premier sculptor, native son Horacio Esteban. Lose yourself in moments of geology meeting history, meeting botany, meeting zoology, meeting art. Where Caymanite and coral and unearthed cedar of thousands of years strike a pose in art. Bring your family. Leave your stress at the doors. Wellness, renewal, mental peppermint, alchemy at the National Gallery, supported by Rotary Central Community Service. Rotary opens opportunities.
Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vant Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vant Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900 or a sporty CHR Hybrid starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota, go hybrid, go to Vampt Motors on Walkers Road.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I promised you that I would read a statement from Customs and Border Control on the exemption granted to the spouse of an asylum recipient. But with this being the silly season, and I'm not a politician, but this is what usually comes this time of the year, broken promises. So I'm going to break my promise that I made to you and say when I said that I would read the statement. And instead, I am going to introduce my guest who is in the studio. We will be talking about the Jobs Cayman portal. That conversation will take place with Ms. Laura Watler, who's the Acting Deputy Director of Business Operations of Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman, known as WORK. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yes.
So without any further ado, Ms. Watler, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Good morning. Great to be here.
Okay. So we're going to start off first by asking you to give us a brief history of the evolution of the portal and work.
Yes, thank you so much. So, as some of everyone might know, the amendment to the immigration law and regulations was enacted in May 2020, and that made it mandatory that an employer had to now register any advertisement for positions within the Jobs Cayman portal for a minimum period of 14 days, either at the same time or before advertising in any other media sources. Without advertising on the portal, as mentioned, the law does not give the board nor the director the power to review. This is only applicable to 1-year work permits and not temporary applications. Only in exceptional cases can an employer seek a waiver from having to advertise, but this has to be sought prior to submission. So that's a little bit of the legal part. So once that happened in May 2020, we launched the official Jobs Cayman portal. So it's an online system that allows registered users to access job postings created by registered employers. And the purpose of the system is to offer a better approach to facilitate Caymanians in finding employment. And it will allow the employers to search for qualified and skilled Caymanians who are seeking employment. The online system also requires that information be submitted electronically, and offers real-time access to that information. So really to register, and it can be unemployed Caymanians and also employed Caymanians who are looking for jobs. So there's also, Caymanians and employers that are on there to look for these jobs and to be able to source these jobs. So that's a little bit about what the portal is about, and also the legalities of registering your job postings with Jobs Cayman as well. Okay.
And in terms of the adverts that are placed on there, because we've heard complaints from people in terms of the fact that sometimes businesses just go through the process because they're required to do so. Can you speak to the genuineness of those adverts that are placed on there, and how do you determine how genuine they are?
Yes, so those jobs are vetted by our team in the background. So they're not just completely posted. It's not like your Facebook or Twitter. You're actually they're vetted in the background to make sure that they are a quality job. They're there for a purpose. Okay. It's not just kind of lip service in that regard. So there's many multiple jobs. There's a very diverse range of jobs. So there's auditors, certified accountants, front office clerks, event coordinators, servers, bartenders, compliance officers, business analysts, medical coordinators, medical receptionists, IT technicians. So a range of jobs and a range of different places. But we do the vetting in the background to make sure that these jobs are relevant. They're also going through those checks and balances to make sure that they are there for us.
Can you tell us now what is new about the portal that we didn't have before? What are the new features?
So the new features, so if anybody hasn't used the system before, they wouldn't notice anything new. They'd just be like, this is great. But for those who may have, based on the feedback when we first launched, then we used it. We spoke to key stakeholders that were there, external stakeholders and also internal stakeholders as well. Over the last 2.5 weeks, have been also testing it for us to make sure that before we launch this, that it's functional and what we need to have. So, based on the feedback that was provided, the navigation has been improved and providing clearer menu options that are available to you. So if you've ever gone on before, you're kind of like, where is everything? Now it's the navigation is seamless. So it puts all the options that easily organized. And this is for the job seekers and for the employers. So for both, you're able to see an inbox that has been improved to list all of your cases, and as an employer, you might have multiple jobs going at the same time. So you can see all of those, and so you're creating that kind of new interface look to say, okay, I'm looking for which job and which ones are coming up for approval or those. So it's a very quick and easy way to see everything that you've posted. The other thing that is new, there's a job post management section as well that we're really excited about. Again, this allows you to see all the jobs that you've created and allow the status of those jobs, review the information, clone any jobs or any jobs for editing. And there's also several different filters and to see those jobs in the back end as well. As an employer, you can then see who's applied their applications, make notes about the applicants through the interview process and everything. So there's a lot of different things that we can see right off the bat that we can, it's easier to navigate, it's easier to see everything. We've kind of brought it forward from what it used to be.
So what you're saying basically that your department then has the ability to monitor what's going on as far as those applications, what's taking place with interviews and things of that nature?
Yes. Well, if that's a little bit more into phase 2. Okay. But this is the closing of phase 1. So phase 1, we're bringing into the new user interface is more of the user. So either the job seeker or the employer. We're rapidly developing that phase 2, where we would then see exactly what's happening in the background.
Okay, we have about a minute before we go to news, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this question in that period of time. But let's talk about the employer. How do they go about registering on the website? And if you can tell us also the level of participation that you have so far in that process.
Yes, I can. So we have about just over 3,000 employers registered currently on the portal. We also have that it's pretty easy. You're going to have to obtain a CIG Net account, which is also able to use across multiple government agencies, so you're not just creating it specifically for work. And you first register as a person to make sure that there is a person, and then you register as an employer, and then that employer then can then go on, and so it's a lot easier process as well than it was. So you're able to go in and see that process. So that's it.
Okay, Ms. Susan, you ready for us, folks? Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Ms. Laura Watler, the Acting Deputy Director of Business Operations at Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman will continue, so please stay tuned. Don't change that dial.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 7:59.
At Foster's, we've been the leader in savings since 1980.
And in this week's specials catalog, you'll find Bakerly Sliced Brioche Bread, only $4.39 each. Save $2.
We also have Mars Ice Cream Novelties, 6-pack, just $3.99, save $2.60. And Frito-Lay's Sun Chips, 2 for $5, save $2.18 on 2.
Price is good until the 3rd of March, 2021. Find even more great specials in store or by visiting fosters.ky. Foster's, better prices because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 30th of June 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpensions.ky, and for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. The proposed $100 million medical campus, Health City Camana Bay, will be located to the expanded Cayman International School at the intersection of the Esterly-Tibbetts Highway and the Airport Connector Road. Health City Cayman Islands says it's not requesting any additional concessions outside of its original agreement with the Cayman Islands government, and the services the expansion will provide continue to fall within the scope of the previously planned phases. DART's Chief Executive Officer Mark Vandeville said the projects align with DART's established track record of successful partnerships, investing in innovations in healthcare, education, and infrastructure that benefit the wider community. The facility is estimated to take 12 to 18 months to complete, contributing economic stimulation both during construction and post-construction. Health City says it's also intending to increase its presence in the sister islands with the opening of an office in Cayman Brac. Health City physicians will provide much-needed accessible specialist healthcare and alleviate the needs for patients to travel to Grand Cayman for outpatient follow-ups and checkups. And Chief Pilot and Cayman Airways Captain Carrie Panton says it feels good to fly in the skies again now that the Boeing 737-8 aircraft fleet has returned to service.
It is an extremely good aircraft. There is none safer. Nobody can come approach anyone and say, here's a safer aircraft. This aircraft went through a recertification program for about 20 to 21 months. All the world's major regulators went through it with a fine-tooth comb. We have reviewed all the, as much data as we can get as an operator, and I can tell you that I am 100% satisfied and feel safe about this aircraft.
As you heard right here on Radio Cayman, it's been almost 2 years since the national airline voluntarily grounded the fleet following the 2 fatal crashes involving the same aircraft. Last week, residents of Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac were invited to tour the fleet and participate in a meet and greet with the national airline's pilots and crew. In regional news, health officials have admitted that more than 30 people got their second COVID-19 vaccination too early and will have to get a third shot to ensure they are fully immunized. The Ministry of Health disclosed the mistake on Thursday night and also reported 2 new cases of the virus out of 337 test results, taking the total number of infected people since the start of the pandemic close to the 700 mark. More than 13,000 vaccines have been administered so far, and the government is hoping a third of the population of around 64,000 will be vaccinated by the end of March. A spokeswoman with the ministry says those who had taken the vaccine early were contacted by the 2 vaccination centers, and a third vaccine will be offered to them 21 days after the second dose. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. Italy's ambassador to the Democratic Republic of Congo has been killed in an attack on a United Nations convoy in the east of the country. Italy's foreign ministry said Luca Attanasio was shot dead along with an Italian military policeman near the town of Cagna-Mahoro at the Virunga National Park. These officials say the attack was an attempted kidnapping. Hundreds of thousands of people have filled the streets of Myanmar, from its biggest cities to rural townships, in a peaceful display of protest against the 3-week-old military regime. The Burmese authorities, who seized power by ousting Myanmar's elected government, tried to stop the protests, warning on state television that demonstrators risked losing their lives. The director of Beijing's Hong Kong and Macau office has said only people considered patriots should be able to hold key posts in Hong Kong's government. Xiao Baolong said the territory's election system must be reformed to ensure this. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is due to announce a 4-stage relaxation of coronavirus lockdown restrictions in England. Initially, all schools will reopen on the 8th of March, while outdoor gatherings of up to 6 people or 2 households will be permitted from the end of March. The first real-world results of Britain's vaccination programme indicate it's having a hugely beneficial impact on preventing serious illness. Figures from Scotland found that in the 4th week after the first flu jab, hospital admissions were reduced by 85% and 94% for the Pfizer and AstraZeneca vaccines respectively. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Commencement at the University College of the Cayman Islands is being moved to spring, in line with more traditional practices in other countries. The spring date will allow graduating students to be part of the university's celebration of their accomplishments. UCCI's 2021 Commencement Ceremony will take place on Saturday, the 24th of April 2021, 7:30 p.m. at Sir Vassal Johnson Hall. Application deadline for graduating students to apply for graduation will be on Friday, the 12th of March 2021. For all the information on Commencement 2021 and to access the graduation form, you can visit www.ucci.edu.ky/graduation.
Calling all gamers.
Practice play is over.
Get ready for 2 days of
non-stop competition, fun, and excitement.
NetGeeks Media is proud to present
the return of the Caribbean's #1 esports event and gaming convention,
Gamers Bay 5. Now celebrating our 5th anniversary, Gamers Bay is going down March 27th and 28th at the John Gray Gymnasium.
If you think you have what it takes, you can compete for over $10,000 in cash and prizes. Compete head-to-head in titles such as Fortnite, Super Smash Bros., Call of Duty Cold War, and FIFA 20.
See and try the latest game consoles and virtual reality headsets. Lots of free play for PC gamers, console gamers, and VR of all ages. Special guest influencers will be in attendance. For more information and to register yourself or a team, visit gamersbaycayman.com.
Proudly sponsored by NetGeeks Media, Domino's, Pepsi, Enterprise Cayman, C3 Pure Fiber, Department of Tourism, Ministry of Education, Youth Services Unit, Kimpton Seafire, Radio Cayman, Simply Computers, and Suzuki.
We, as Caymanians, live by our choices and by using our voice to bring about change. On April 14th, Cayman and Georgetown West holds the power to turn the page to a more hopeful, more empowered chapter in our country's leadership. My fellow Caymanians, my name is Perlina Magal-Lumsden, and I'm proud to be your candidate for Georgetown West. I hope that you will join our movement and use your voice to vote for me, a candidate that will work tirelessly to put you, your families, your education, your employment, and our environment first.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or email www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Song Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the very latest weather report. Current temperature is 78 degrees. Relative humidity is 90%. The barometric pressure 30.03 inches and rising. The wind is out of the northeast at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 74 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate easterly winds and seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as a stationary front dissipates north of the Cayman area, and for the associated high-pressure system to linger over the eastern United States. Radar images show scattered showers in and around the Cayman area, moving towards the west. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of early morning showers, and temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Your winds will be east at 10 to 50 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight. Partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Your winds will be east at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Low tide will occur this afternoon at 1:32, high tide this evening at 6:34. The sun will set this evening at 6:27 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:49. And the outlook is calling for light northeasterly winds and seas from tomorrow evening as the high-pressure system moves over the central Atlantic Ocean. That's the very latest on your weather report.
10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or email www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. Developing winning habits is a blueprint for living a better life.
As Stephen Covey said in his best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny.
Change your thinking. Change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. On-Course Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On-Course Cayman. Health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on our roads. Lots of patience needed this morning, as delays are expected if you're coming from the east on Shamrock Road and the Linford Pearson Highway, as traffic is heavy. Roads are wet, so please drive with extra care. Also coming off the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, busy traffic. And it's busy traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way. Light traffic on Owen Roberts Drive. As we look to Godfrey Dixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is flowing moderately. And traffic flowing at a good pace on Edward Street and Shedden Road, not looking too bad as traffic is moderate in both directions. As we look to North Sound Road, coming from the Butterfield roundabout heading towards the Industrial Park area, traffic flowing moderately. Coming off the Esselie Tibbetts Highway, little steady traffic heading towards the Butterfield roundabout. Elsewhere on North Sound Road, traffic is moderate. That's the very latest on your traffic. If you've seen accidents or incidents happening on Cayman's roads, give us a call here at Radio Cayman 949-6990. Have a good morning and drive safe, Cayman Islands.
Now you'll never have to choose between two desserts at Subway. The new caramel brownie cookie is two treats in one. Imagine sweet, gooey caramel with decadent chocolate chunks baked in brownie-flavored dough and topped with a light drizzle of caramel icing. And you have the new caramel brownie cookie, available at Subway. Complete your Subway sandwich, pizza, or salad with the delicious caramel brownie cookie or any other cookie flavor and dessert. Available at all Subway locations. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
As we ride the hamster wheel, scampering along the treadmill of living, we try to reset to this new normal, this new life. Where getting away is staying right here. Where vacation is staycation, staying safe. Where focus is surviving minutes, hours, days of anxiety. Step away and say hello to the latest exhibition of the National Gallery. Say hello to Alchemy by Cayman's premier sculptor, native son Horacio Esteban. Lose yourself in moments of geology meeting history, meeting botany, meeting zoology, meeting art. Where Caymanite and coral and unearthed cedar of thousands of years strike a pose in art. Bring your family. Leave your stress at the doors. Wellness, renewal, mental peppermint. Alchemy at the National Gallery, supported by Rotary Central Community Service. Rotary opens opportunities.
Radio Cayman News. More details tonight after a jet ski collision this morning at Cowood Beach.
It's been almost 2 years since the national airline voluntarily grounded the fleet.
This ongoing matter has identified a gap within the Customs and Border Control Act.
It's more important than ever that we encourage healthcare projects that close healthcare gaps.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Miss Laura Watler, who's the Acting Deputy Director of Business Operations at Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman Islands. We're talking about the launch of the new user Jobs Cayman interface. Before I throw the mic back over to Ms. Watler, if you go on their website, you will see a welcome to Jobs Cayman, and it'll explain to you that it is an online system that allows registered users to access job postings created by registered employers. The purpose of the system is to offer a better approach to facilitate Caymanians in finding employment. It will also allow employers to search for qualified and skilled Caymanians who are seeking employment. The online system will require all information to be submitted electronically and offers real-time access to information as well. And then it goes on to tell you about how to register and everything else. And Ms. Watler has explained quite a bit of that to us already. So we're going to continue the discussion at some point in time. We're also going to talk about what is on the horizon that will be coming on later on as well. But the mic is over to you, Ms. Watler, and you can cover any area that you want to cover. And
thank you.
We have a few questions that from our audience that we will ask later on as well.
Okay, great. Yes, I just wanted to clarify. So currently, boards and administrators do have the ability to see Caymanians who have applied using the portal. Then this ensures that Caymanians are not overlooked and examine justification for not hiring those that have applied. So this is why we're urging those the use of the portal over any independent means of applying for a job. So it's really important for us to be able to then see. So I just wanted to clarify that point, that the administrators do have the ability to see Caymanians that have applied.
Excellent.
And just in terms of kind of why you would apply. So there's two different programs that we offer when you're applying. So there's the Job Seeker Extended program, which offers the full service to Caymanians and includes an intake assessment, the ability to self-refer to the jobs that are posted, and then customized career development plans and access to training workshops.
Okay.
And then there's the Job Seeker Plus program, which is open to all Caymanians and include self-referral to jobs posted and then access to training workshops. So the Job Seeker Plus program is step like this, kind of your standard program, and then the extended offers you a little bit more concierge services, so to speak. And then some of those training and development are, access to internships, apprenticeships, employment programs. So it's not just that you're registered on the portal, but you have also all of these things in the background. So we're connecting you with current employment opportunities and, identifying your career interests, reviewing available opportunities, enhancing your job search skills, identifying any skill sets and matching with jobs, preparing resumes, preparing for interviews, assisting also, just assisting you in not just you're there on the portal, but actually there's a lot of things that you can go on in the background as well. So this is why
most of this is done online
as
well?
Yes, online, yeah.
Okay.
So online and in person, so training as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I just want to remind our listeners that our phone lines are open if you have any questions or comments in relation to our discussion this morning, if you need clarity on anything as well. One of the queries that we had in relation to the way that the system works had to do with the board dealing with applications and what is handled administratively, and how has the separation of those two processes helped in terms of speeding up the whole process?
Yes, so the administrators can process up to 750 work permits per week, so that equals to about 150 work permits per day. So it's mostly the volume's more with the administrators now versus the boards. So,
Okay. Back over to you.
I just wanted to speak a little bit about, the importance of the portal. I mentioned just a little while ago that it's very important that we register, but also that there's that access to what's happening in the background. Not only that we can see who's applying and you have these trainings, but what's coming then is that that we're going to be rolling this out a lot more towards the systems to be able to make sure that Caymanians are successful in the job. So it's also important for the employers to let us know that they're updating any records for any interest received through the portal, and whether they were hired, and the reasons for not hiring as well. So when the employers are updating that you were hired or not hired, it's important for us to know why you were not hired, so we can go back and work on those skills as mentioned. So it's a very big feedback loop in terms of being able to you're registered, but it's intended to be able to kind of give you the feedback as a job seeker as well, to say, okay, well, here's your gaps, and to be able to work with you to close those gaps. And sometimes we may not know what those gaps are, so it's a very important feedback loop for the employer to close that loop and let us know who was hired and who wasn't hired, but also, that the feedback as to why, because then we can work with job seekers to be able to kind of ensure that they have the skills to make sure that they're successful in the next time that they apply as well.
And one of the proofs in the system is that if they then the employer ends up applying for a work permit for someone for that same position, then you know exactly what has transpired prior to that as well.
Yes, yeah, which is very important as well, so that we know, okay, that this person, this employer is now in applying for a work permit, but also that the who has applied in terms of Caymanians, and to ensure the processes and the checks and balances are made as well. We have around over 2,000 people that are registered on the portal. So with those over 2,000 people, you can imagine that we want to make sure that, again, the loops are closed. And it's almost about 200 jobs that are posted, or over 200 jobs that are posted weekly. So there's a lot of information there that we can use, and to ensure that if it's not this job, it might be another job that we can refer you to.
Okay. Now, we have heard stories in the past, and I know, in my previous life at immigration, a lot of we didn't have as robust systems as you have now, and lots of times the board relied on the honesty and the integrity of the employer, the prospective employer who's applying for a work permit for a foreign national. And sometimes we only became aware that a Caymanian had applied if that Caymanian took the initiative and wrote to the board or made an appointment to see the chair or the deputy chair of the board or the chief immigration officers to say, here I submitted this application, I didn't get a response. We hear stories about Caymanian applications being thrown in the garbage. How does this system that we have in place now prevent all of that from happening?
So, as you know, with any system, everything is there. You're able to see it. So there's nothing that can be deleted, so to speak, so that we can see, ensuring transparency and ensuring that they are letting us know, so we can ensure that trust and honesty continues, and we can continue to trust these employers that, okay, yes, 10 Caymanians applied, however, no one was successful. We can then see those 10 Caymanians and ensure that, again, so there's a lot more transparency with the system and records, so that we can see that, so everything can be audited, so to speak, to make sure that those, again, checks and balances are there. So the system is there for our benefit here in the Cayman Islands, and also to all of our Caymanians, to make sure that we are employing who is the best candidate. So.
Okay. Again, for clarity for our listening and viewing audience, it's like now, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? So the employer will register a job position even before they're allowed to submit an application for a work permit? Is that how it works?
So the job will need to be posted for a minimum period of 14 days. Okay. So it's just like how we would do it in the advertising. So 2 consecutive. So that they have to post that first, and obviously the post has to also be vetted in the background. So again, it's not just like your Facebook or Twitter post that goes straight out. It gets approved. It goes and approves in the background to make sure, again, it's a valid job posting. And then once it's there for a minimum of 14 days, and whoever is on the portal can and registered can apply, and then that's when it goes to then they would be able to apply for a work permit.
Okay.
But that process has to continue first.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to keep Ms. Watler here with us until our next commercial break for another 15 minutes since we lost some time during the news. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, with Ms. Laura Watler will continue shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Roper's Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Roper's, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Celebrate Cayman invites you to the dedication and groundbreaking ceremony for Seafarers Park on Thursday, the 25th of February from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Come and join us and get a look at the vision and plans for the new waterfront national landmark.
Seafarers Park will serve as a site for us all to come together as a community in the heart of our capital.
Join in the celebrations at the dedication and groundbreaking ceremony for Seafarers Park at the former Tower Building site on Thursday, the 25th of February from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We hope to see you there.
We sailed on the sloop John B, my grandfather and me.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show with Miss Laura Watler this morning. We're talking about the Jobs Cayman portal. We do have a caller and we have a WhatsApp message as well. Miss Susan, let's take the caller first. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to you and your guest, Miss Watler. Peter.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. I some time ago I tried to register on the website, and I found it, number one, to be quite cumbersome. And I'm not an expert, but I'm also not helpless when it comes to registering for things like that. So I found it a bit challenging. And then the other thing that I was most disappointed in was that there does not seem to be a list of advertised positions that you can access and see if there is anything that you might like to apply for. Many other places, including government, has a list of open positions that they're seeking applicants for. But I did not find that on that website, and I have, without trying to brag, I think I'm conversant in several skills, and would be interested in occasional short-term assignments that people might be having a temporary vacancy for whatever reason, and I would have liked to have the opportunity to see what is there, and if there's something that I could apply for which I would qualify.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your feedback. So I'm happy to say, as the 1st of March, 2021, those issues that you had in registering will now be cleared up. So that's a part of the new user interface that we have launched, that it's a lot easier to navigate. We knew that there was navigation issues. Mm-hmm. So as a job seeker, as yourself, you will be able to navigate it quite quickly, and so that is, and to see the jobs. Yes, yeah. So we've taken that feedback from the first from the first go round, and now we've implemented a lot easier system, a lot easier to navigate, and we've gotten that feedback, like I said, from those external stakeholders to be able to make sure that it's not just us that can say yes, it's our customers as well.
Caller, you.
Thank you very much. I will certainly check on that, and I'm thank you, OC, for mentioning the various. I'm searching for a term, but I don't have one. Means that some people use to avoid having to deal with local applicants. Unfortunately, I found that to be quite.
We can call those avoidance techniques.
Yes. I was hoping for something a little more saucy, but anyway, it didn't come. So I wish you a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much, Miss Susan. The voice note.
George Ebanks here. I use the services of the work quite a bit, and I'm very pleased with the Jobs Cayman portal. Just one comment because of what is being discussed this morning in terms of trying to ensure that Caymanians are employed, which I fully subscribe to. What we have to be careful with is that I know the whole NWDS system used to seemingly select candidates from the database and then push those, for the use of a better word, push those towards the employer as potential employees, and then the employer had to then interview all those people in order to comply with the requirements. What I would prefer to see is that these candidates use their own gumption and their own initiative and their own interest to apply, to go onto the website themselves, look through adverts and apply themselves and apply correctly. If the employer is asking for a resume and a cover letter and different things, they should be able to supply those, upload those and supply those to the employer. Because otherwise we're giving employers extra work for people who really cannot fit who they're looking for. It's kind of difficult to train on the job all the time. Most employers are not doing it, and also it's difficult to fit square pegs into round holes. Thank you and God bless.
Okay, I want to thank that caller. Any
Yes,
comments
thank you.
want to make?
Yes, so much like the legacy NWDA system, we do have that referral process, but no, the automatic referrals have to be done by the both the employment services officer should you sign up for that extended program, or the independently by the job seeker. So that hopefully that clarifies that for that caller.
Okay, we have two callers, and I have another WhatsApp message, a question which says when's the training in-person training taking place?
So we have several different training programs that are happening. So they run in 2-week intervals. So those are Passport to Success, Ready to Work, and Employability Skills 101. So if you were to call our customer care 945-9672, they would be able to direct you to when those are happening, because there are different cycles that are happening. So it depends on when it is. I know that one is starting here in 2 weeks on the 11th of March, I believe, as far as my notes are telling me. But that would be the Ready to Work program. But again, if you call 945-9672, they're able to help you with any queries and questions in regards to training.
And 945-9672?
Yes, that's our customer care call center.
Okay.
So
we have two callers.
Sorry, the 15th of March is when that starts.
Okay.
Apologies.
We have two callers, and we have about 5 minutes left with Ms. Watler, so we're going to ask each caller to please be as brief as possible, because we do have other guests scheduled to come on after. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. Good morning, Ms. Laura. How are you?
Good morning. Fine, thanks.
Good morning.
1 minute to speak, Mr. Connor. That's not enough.
No, I didn't say 1 minute, but...
This is Sylvia Wilkes. Yep.
Hi, Sylvia. Hi.
I just want to say, Ms. Laura, first of all, I want to say I'm grateful for work and the opportunity to be registered with the portal. I have to be registered because I'm currently studying at a doctoral level with a scholarship, and that is one of the requirements. However, and I think that this question may benefit other persons who are scholarship recipients from government. Once we've registered with work, because it's a requirement, what is the next step for scholarship recipients? What is the expectation? What do we get as relates to the degrees that we've acquired? I personally don't feel that that it's necessary, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I've gone through the process like everybody else, and I don't feel that the way in which the process is aligned, it does not benefit me as a person who would have studied and acquired a master's degree and waiting. So I would love to have an audience with you, Miss Watler, because there's some stuff I would not be able to discuss on air. But I just wanted to pose that based on for the benefit of those who might be scholarship recipients.
Okay. So thank you again, and yes, please do reach out. And I believe that one of the benefits that we have spoken about this morning as well to yourself and other scholarship recipients would be that when you're applying for those jobs, we're able to see you and see that you have applied, so that when you have that master's, that we have those qualifications on file that you have applied, and that you would be then qualified to go forward for the job, and we can ensure that you are, and that a work permit holder or someone else is not taking that slot. So I think that might be one of the benefits, and maybe it's just some more communications to those scholarship holders on the benefits. So I'll make a note of that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's grab. Thank you very much, caller. Let's grab our last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Hey, morning, Doc. How are you?
Good morning.
Very good. And good morning to your guests.
Morning.
Ma'am, I also find your portal a little cumbersome. Sometime, I don't know if it's changed now, but some time ago I was looking for a gardener farmer. I do backyard farming, and I grow a lot of vegetables and stuff in my backyard. And when I went down there, and I thought it was so simple, I could just go down there and they would say, well, these are all the people we have looking for farmers, and you can select which one you want. They gave me a booklet which outlined all the things I had to do on my computer to be able to get a garden farm. I just gave it up. And for what it's worth, many years ago I worked part-time with the Canadian Manpower and Immigration Services. And I was a counselor there. I worked for the Council of Vancouver Council of Christians and Jews, and they had a simple system. The employers sent his request in for employees, and they posted it on there's a hall. They posted all of the jobs that were available on posters on the board, and with a number. And you went up there, you fill out the form, you get the number of the job you wanted, and then you got an audience with a person to interview you, and they would then give you a card, an address, and send you out to the employer for the interview with the employer. It was quite simple. If the employer wanted a first-class carpenter, and you went out there and you did not fit the bill of a first-class carpenter, the employer would send back to the service and say, well, this gentleman that you sent out didn't fit the bill, and then they would send somebody else out. But the way it is now is very cumbersome, and it doesn't accommodate people who do not have computer skills and have computers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Doc, what we're talking about now is those changes now that to improve on what you experienced before.
And also we do have the kiosk at the Apollo House so that we can assist people as well in real time as well. But yes, a lot of those improvements have been made, and they'll be launched on the 1st of March, which is next week, Monday.
And the other thing is that in Canada, our employer, before he is allowed to bring in any employee, he would have to get permission from the Department of Manpower and Immigration. What would happen? He would send if he exhausted all of the applicants and there was no one suitable, then they would give him a certificate to go to the immigration department to allow them to bring in somebody from abroad. But you would have to exhaust all the people who were registered for the particular job, whether it was plumbing or carpentry or whatever. And then they would say, okay, we've exhausted all the things. We are going to allow you to bring somebody else in, and then they would give a certificate to the immigration department to say this person from St. Lucia or from Jamaica is allowed to come to Canada to work with this particular person.
Got you, Doc. Doc, I want to thank you very much for that. We have to close off with Ms. Watler now, but I want to give her an opportunity for some closing comments and anything that you may have missed that you want to ensure that is conveyed to the public as well, Ms. Watler.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much for having myself on, and I'm very excited. Once again, the new jobs portal user interface will be live as of the 1st of March, which is next week, Monday. We're very excited about it, and we're also standing by for any issues. So just to give you some email addresses, sometimes I know that people don't like the call, they rather the email. So it's work.training@gov.ky for any training opportunities that you might be seeking. Any issues or questions around Jobs Cayman, it's jobscayman@gov.ky as well. And also, if you have a complaint, we're happy to receive those as well and be able to get the feedback as well. It's work with a C, complaints@gov.ky as well. So yeah, thank you very much, and we look forward to spreading the news about this and being able to work with the Caymanian public as well to ensure that these gaps are closed, and then also that we have a system that works for everybody.
Certainly. Thank you very much, as well, and give my regards to some of my colleagues who are still with the department. It wasn't work when I was there, but I give my regards to them as well.
Will, for sure. Thank you so much.
Folks, please stay tuned. Don't change that dial. We will be talking about the Seafarers Park, opening of that, and you have heard some commercials on Radio Cayman in that regard as well. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know the third most important factor for customer retention is cleanliness? With 95% of shoppers saying exterior appliance influences where they decide to shop. Keep your business clean with Roper's Janitorial. From offices to restaurants, interior and exterior, walls to rugs and flooring. Roper's cleans it all, including 24-hour emergency service. Roper's Janitorial, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Dress your business for success with Roper's Janitorial. We make your business shine. 949-2511. Roper's, providing products and services for better public health.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vant Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vant Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900, or a sporty CHR Hybrid
starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota. Go hybrid. Go to Vamped Motors on Walkers Road.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is now my pleasure to have someone who's no stranger to For the Record or to Radio Cayman, none other than Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is the executive chair of Celebrate Cayman. And he's here this morning to talk about the Seafarers Park, the dedication and groundbreaking ceremony that is about to take place. Mr. Fonso, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Thanks, OC. Good
you
morning.
You haven't aged one bit since you were here last.
You know, it's funny you should say that. You know, OC, it's almost, I would say at least 3-4 times a month. I go places and people say, Mr. OC. I said, no, not today.
Oh, and if it was the old days, they would ask you immigration questions.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm proud to be looked at and mistaken for you. We'll see.
Thanks.
I have a lot of respect for you and the things you do.
Thank you.
Seafarers Park OC is is another part of the activities of Celebrate Cayman. We will recall that on National Heroes Day, Honorable Premier made a couple of announcements about seafarers. We know that this is the year of the seafarer. We're celebrating our seafaring heritage the whole of 2021. And we understand that seafaring was the bedrock of our society, our economy, our development here in the country. And I believe that it's timely that the government and the country at large begins to celebrate and to show open appreciation for what seafarers have done, you know, in our country. And I think it was very fitting that the Premier thought it proper, you know, to go ahead and find a way to help to honor our seafarers by designating the old tower building site for a park in central Georgetown, a green space, in honor of our seafarers. In his announcement that day, he said that he wanted the groundbreaking ceremony to take place in February. And I must say that this was before we knew that it was going to be an early election. And as it turned out, you know, it wouldn't be something that I believe that we could comfortably do after the 1st of March. So it fell in the place. Once he said that, Marzita and I are always on the ball. And she right away looked around and looked at me and looked into the calendar and she said, February 25th is the date we need to work towards, because we were both sitting there at National Heroes Day. And as it turned out, the 25th is a Thursday of this week, and that date was accepted by caucus and cabinet. And so the groundbreaking ceremony will take place at 4 in the afternoon this Thursday. Right now, you know, we're still mindful of the COVID restrictions. But it is a day that I believe it's a business day, so I don't think that the crowd will be an overwhelming one. But I hope to see a good bit of our seafarers out there in particular. They're extremely excited about this. We also had an opportunity to present the plans to them because we haven't had much time, and Public Works has come on board almost immediately and have turned out plans, conceptual drawings, that is, not detailed plans. That will take some time. And had a few of the Seafarers executive interview that, and then I attended the Seafarers meeting last Tuesday to advise them of the date and the time of the groundbreaking ceremony. So Thursday is going to be a historic day for us here in Cayman. And I'm hoping that the public in general those who will have time during the working day to come out and witness this.
Okay. And can you repeat the time again?
It's 4 in the afternoon, Thursday, 25th of February, and at the old Tower Building site.
Okay. This may be a little tricky question, but I'm going to ask it now before I forget. You spoke about the fact that we have early elections and everything. We don't know what government we will get.
Correct.
After the elections, and one government cannot tie the hands of another government. How do the people of the Cayman Islands, and this may be a rhetorical question, how do we ensure the continuity of this program going forward after the 14th of April? Do the people of the Cayman Islands really need to get behind this, show the support that they have for this? Who knows it? You may get some individual, some group coming in who don't feel, and this would be to their peril if they did, who didn't feel that seafaring at this point in time, with COVID-19 and everything else, should take up a prominent role in government and in our resources.
Not a tricky question at all, OC. It is something that we talk about, but I feel very comfortable, and I think those around me, my group, the people that we're working with, also feel the same way, that I believe that the entire country understands and appreciate what seafarers have done here and are 100% behind this. I doubt that any government would believe that it would be the right thing to do to stop the celebrations going on for seafarers.
To their peril.
I doubt that very much, because if we've had 100% buy-in from just about everybody with this. Even opposition members are people who, have been touched by this, who are aware. Some of them have even been seafarers themselves. And I think this is a celebration that the whole country is involved in and wants to see come to fruition. There are lots of other things that are happening along the way as well, OC. And while it may not be the possibility it may not be right to have events during the election process after nomination day in particular, there is still work behind the scenes that Celebrate Cayman has to do. For instance, we only were able to reach a small portion of our seafarers during the National Heroes Day celebrations, although we did have 3 days of it. But the vast majority of our seafarers are still not registered. We don't know all of them yet. And while we have announced that we're going to the districts to honor the others, we have to find a lot of them still.
Yeah.
So we're right now working on a process, developing a database to help us to go out to the communities and register those whom we haven't reached yet. A lot of these are now deceased. The old seafarers, the old turtle rangers and so on, the guys who first went to the Mosquito Keys and so on, are people that are deserving of recognition as well. So we are developing a system now, because we figure that between 25 and 30% of our seafarers are all that we captured through the Seafaring Association. And there are people who have not registered for that, but there are people who have gone on before that we were not able to capture. People are calling every day. My grandfather didn't get registered. My uncle didn't get registered. And my grandfather didn't. And so we're building this database now that will allow us to input the information that we already have in place, but to be able to go out to the public in general and say to them, here is the website. You can go there and look at it yourself.
Yes.
If you put in the name of your father or your loved one or whoever it is, and they're not there, you now have the ability to register them.
Okay.
And it'll be a thing that will be accessible by the general public. If you're going and you look for Orrit Corner and you see that it has Orrit as a chief engineer, and you say, but yeah, he was a chief engineer, but the last year of sailing, he sailed as a captain. It is possible for you then to go in and make that correction. No, it's not
similar to Wikipedia.
Yeah, no, it's not immediately uploaded to the website. The background, the people who are going to monitor that are the individuals who will be able to look at that, verify it, and then have it imported into the system.
Okay,
so it's not automatic.
We'll latch on to that point when we return. We also have a caller on hold. Caller, very quick break for headline news. Doesn't take long. Please hang in there. As soon as we return, we will take your call, so please stay tuned.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 345 COVID-19 tests on Friday. 3 came back positive. They will remain in isolation until considered recovered. The total number of COVID-19 vaccines administered to date is more than 18,000, with 7,600 people having completed the 2-dose course. Hundreds of thousands of protesters have taken to the streets of Myanmar in one of the largest demonstrations yet against the country's military coup. Businesses closed as employees joined a general strike despite a military statement saying protesters were risking their lives by turning out. Police dispersed the crowds in the capital and a water cannon truck was seen moving into position. Myanmar has seen weeks of protest following a coup on February 1st. And U.S. plane manufacturer Boeing has recommended grounding all of its 777 model aircraft, which have the same type of engine that suffered failure and shed debris over Denver on Saturday. It said 128 jets should be suspended until inspections are carried out. United Airlines and Japan's 2 main operators have already stopped using 56 planes with the same engine. Flight 328, carrying 231 passengers, was forced to make an emergency landing at the Denver airport. No one was injured. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record, with Orrit Corner.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrit Corner. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Alfonso Wright, who's the executive chair of Celebrate Cayman. We're talking about the dedication of and groundbreaking for Seafarers Park. But Mr. Alfonso is also here and willing to talk about anything that Celebrate Cayman is involved in as well. As promised, we're going to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Thanks for being so patient.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. How art thou?
I am well.
I knew it.
And you want to say Fonzo is willing to do?
I knew it. I knew that first call was going to be hard. I knew it. Good morning.
Fonzo,
yes, love.
Fonzo,
yes, ma'am.
We're talking about bedrock, concepts of bedrock.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're talking about what the seafarers have done. And we're talking about some of the, the folks from the opposition, the elected people, even being seafarers themselves. We're talking about how both sides of the house could agree on this. And we continue talking about, how the seafarers like the idea of the park. And when I get to that, then I'm choking because if they like the idea of the park and nobody can talk against it, where is the holiday now? That's when they really come into their own, the holiday fund. So now I'm asking our premier, president, the one to come, don't know who that's going to be, asking cabinet, asking you and Celebrate Cayman, Fonzo, the holiday is what we want to celebrate. We want a park. We want everything with Miss Glenn Bush down. We want a park. But the holiday tells the world, not just lovely words on a radio program, tells the world these are important persons. And by legislation, we want them designated national treasures. And I can tell you now how I can better seafarers' way without taking away my harbor drive from me, because I used to back rope out by Leola. This one of the vessels leaving out the way gone to now.
We missed that part. Repeat that again for us, please.
I say I used to back rope. I used to help lay rope. Carry out by Miss Leola.
Okay.
To go on them vessels out there, and now that's gone. Seafarer's Way. And you know, I want to see Seafarer's Way, but I can tell on a different day how to get that Seafarer's Way. Because in Cayman, we got give up to get. It started with one that was Harbor Drive. I thought that when I get Seafarer's Way, then we would have two. But I got Seafarer's Way, Harbor Drive gone. And like I said, we used to lay rope. I didn't have lay rope. I was a child. I couldn't do it by myself. But I used to have lay rope, and I used to back it out. And Harbor Drive is gone. So I want my Harbor Drive, and then I want my holiday, and then I can have a Seafarer's Way and tell them how to get that it don't look so cumbersome.
Thank you. Relying on you.
But cabinet, whoever cabinet is, it takes time not to know nothing. But also, the premier cabinet celebrate Cayman, and yes, the speaker, you know, we have to kind of controversy now by the speaker, because the speaker really did take seafarers and all that under his wing. So, you know, on the work on it, the holiday is telling the world something. Now we coming on, you're talking foolishness, because when this year of the seafarers over, in 2022, what happens then? They go back to nothingness. They go back to the big spot zero that usually they are.
Good point.
Holiday.
Yeah, excellent point. Excellent.
No, well, yeah.
You can't leave it alone.
I'm only encouraging you to continue to agitate, Charlene. This is how these things happen. It is not within, my authority.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. I'm loving you still, and I'm gone.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. We have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
For the record.
Morning again, Doc.
And good morning to Mr. Wright.
Morning, Dr. McPhail.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you guys for all the effort you're putting into to recognize our historical culture and our heritage.
Yes, sir.
I think it's one of the great things that we should have done this long time ago. I believe that the kind of stability in the country as far as employment and advancement would have been much faster if that had been done in an earlier stage, but it's not too late. But I want to disagree with you on a point that you made. You said that nearly everybody in the country recognizes seafarers. I don't think that is true. There are some people in this country who do not recognize seafarers. In fact, they think that we are a bunch of drunks and that we didn't do anything to this country. For this country, and their whole attitude is that they did everything. They started the banks, they started the offshore companies, they started the offshore business, and that was the first time that we were able to eat and sleep and live well. I think that's a lot of people. And let me give you an example. In 1995, during the time that we had the Government Private Sector Advisory Committee, Mr. George McCarthy, I think he was the financial secretary then, invited me as a member of the Government Private Sector Advisory Committee. I was the only sole practitioner on that committee, and I never forgot the day when I went in there. The attitude of those other people who had the big law firms and the banks and the trust companies and all that stuff. When I went into the large common room at the Glass House, how their attitude, like. They were saying to themselves and to each, like, how did I get on here? Well, Mr. George McCarthy said that there were times that people like me, who were the smaller people, had to have a chance, like everybody else. I was invited to go on the trip with the government to promote Cayman offshore business. The trip took in New York, London, and Hong Kong. And, of course, I had written a book called The Cayman Islands, The Ideal Caribbean Financial Center. It cost me $20,000 to get it all printed. And in the preface it says, the person who did the forward to it said, sort of a biography of what I had done. And one of the things in it was that I had been a seaman I had went to sea, and from it was from that I elevated myself and became a lawyer, and that caused a lot of friction when I went off, because everybody had to give Lyndon Martin. I was asked to do a presentation on cotton formation in the Cayman Islands, which went into the coffee table book for all the delegates who were coming to the convention, and Lyndon Martin was the coordinator of that trip, and after 3 weeks of the government and in those 3 venues, I never got any clients. And then later on, about a year or so, I saw Lyndon Martin one day, and he said to me, "I have to make a confession to you."
You probably talking Lindbergh.
Lyndon.
Lyndon? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He was working with the government then.
Yeah. Okay.
And he said, "I have to make a confession to McPhail." He says, "You notice that I heard you on the radio saying you didn't get any work from that trip." And he says, "One of the reasons why you probably didn't get work because they told me not to put your material out, to give the delegates your material."
Wow.
And because it was an embarrassment that I had been a seaman, and it would look bad that I didn't come from the right families and the right connections, and so forth. So that is one of the experiences that I had, and I know other people too. People who are chief engineers, third engineers, men who work hard in the engine room, who has great experience, even working with CUC, going to CUC to get jobs. I remember one guy told me he went to the water company to get a job with the water company, and they said he didn't have any experience, and he was a first engineer. And one of the first things you do when you get into the engineering, because I was a junior engineering ship, one of the first things you need to do, they learn to do, is how to make water by reverse osmosis. Yeah, to make water. And he couldn't get a job because they said he didn't have any experience. So seamen had not had their place here, because they didn't come from banker families. They didn't come from real estate families. They didn't come from accountant families, and they had no. And so they look down on us. Even now, some of them don't recognize me, and even those, some of them who are qualified could not have walked a mile in the shoes that I had to walk to get qualified, and I got qualified in the same system, in the same schools that they went to, and coming from families with no prior degrees and money, and they refuse to believe, to understand that that's not what makes you a person, what makes you a great person, what makes you a great man. Mm-hmm. And I will be there. I will be handing out my booklets on the last voyage of the last voyage of the last horizon, the story of Captain Tom's great epic journey from Kingston to London. Mm-hmm. I will, if you will permit me to do that, I will give you copies too. That you can. I sent some copies in the envelope that I sent to your department when I was nominating Captain Tom Diaz for a recognition. But I still have a lot of copies left that I would like to give out to people, because I did it from my own pocket, because I think it was a great thing to do, and I think that they were great men. Those men were so great men. When you think of the exploit that they did, all the places they went, and they were lifeblood for Cayman. It was them that keep the country going, for the rich and the poor. It was them. From slavery, they were the ones that were in the ships with the slave masters, going to Boston and to New York and all the way to Denmark and Sweden, selling cotton, and all the way to New Orleans and everything. They were the ones steering the ship while the masters were sleeping down below, and they kept that up until they didn't need them anymore in the world. When now they have all these fancy ships now that you have to get trained now to do so, because then they don't have time to train you now. You have to be trained to go to them. Mm-hmm. So it was us and our forefathers and grandfathers and uncles and all of the brothers and all the brothers that was the lifeblood for this country. And when I saw the two ship, there's one man there was one man in Savannah. I think he's Mr. Eden. He was one of the youngest chief engineers on the ships and went on the largest ship that float at that time. And there's another gentleman, I think he's Mr. Jackson, that when the ships were in the shipyard getting ready to launch, he was the one that the company sent down there to Japan to make sure that all the engines were working properly. Not a guy from MIT or all those places. A guy from Little Savannah, from Newlands, from Little Savannah, who knew more about engines than many people in the world.
Doc, I've reached the commercial break now, and if we do have another caller on hold, I'm going to ask you to leave us there for now. Caller, please hang in there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will take your call, so please stay tuned.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today, it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, the Executive Chair of Celebrate Cayman, Mr. Alfonso Wright. We have two callers on hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ram. Good morning.
And good morning to Mr. Alfonso.
Good morning. I need to tell you something though. If I didn't catch your voice, and I heard you call my name, I would have known that you were West Bear. West Bears always call me Alfonso.
And it's not Alfonso, right?
It's Alfonso. But it's okay. It's just a joke for me. I'm not.
Okay. Because you see, our lingo down here is a little bit different.
And I understand that. But it always amuses me.
Okay. I have had, because they're all passed on now. All of my uncles, 6 of them, were seamen. My grandfather was a seaman, but from Mosquito Keys.
That still counts. That still counts.
No, that's where hard work was. I was just a little girl when he used to tell me these stories. Now, I would like to hear and see, and I could try to say your name again. That we honor the wives and the ladies that were back here raising. My grandmother had one little small woman, five, 6, and my grandfather was 6'6". Raised 11 children. So the ladies that were back here, I would like to see them honored as well. I'm sure a few people would disagree, but I'm sure a lot of people would agree to this. Maybe next year, God's willing, spares their lives, maybe we could talk about the ladies that stayed and took care of the children, household, grounds. That I look back at those days many times, and sometimes I wish that not the mosquitoes though, but people were more human to each other, more helpful to each other, and we all grew up poor. But the seamen did make Cayman what it is because they sent home every penny. And I have the grand uncles and stuff that were all seamen, and Captain Ali, Captain Marvin, all of them, and they also had a lot of kids as well, not kids but children, and I would like to see the wives that are still alive or the families that are still alive honored, because without them to take care of things and households, and some of them could run barbed wire, some of them could paint, and I had some uncles, 3 uncles on the same ship that blew up, but every one of them survived. Uncle Chesley, Uncle Garfield, all of them survived. Thank God it was the ship, maybe, or Dr. Macfield could correct me. As far as I can remember, the ship was named Petrolor.
Petrolor, yeah.
Yeah, And I remember my grandmother praying, going down on the iron shore because we live by the sea, and praying and praying. She always prayed, and she always gathered us and prayed before we went to school and before we ate anything when we came back home. So I would like to see the women honored. I thank you for listening to me, and both of you, and good morning to Miss Susan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fonzo. We're going to take this other caller, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain to that caller how all those persons that she wants to be honored, how we can go about recognizing them and the assistance that she and her family can give in terms of accomplishing that as well. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
And good morning to Mr. Alfonso Wright.
Good morning, Miss Georgette.
Who promised to give me a call after he came from one big trip he went on. But I still love you, though. How was your mama?
Oh, haven't spoken to her yet this morning, but I gather she's doing fine. I'll check with her later on today. I'll let her know you asked about her.
Does she still drive her taxi?
No, she still drives, but she has given up the taxi work.
Okay, then.
Yes.
God bless her and all the family.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would just like to say a few words. I'm not long-winded, as both Mr. O.C. and knows.
Certainly.
A lot of people that I know speak disparagingly about our seamen. I wonder where they think the foundation for all the prosperity and the financial holdings. It was the seamen who made that foundation on which those things have been built. And I plainly remember when I worked at the post office, the seamen sent in so much money from their work on the ship that was sent home to their family members. And the little government bank could not take care of it anymore. And that is why Barclays Bank was opened on Grand Cayman.
The start of the banking industry.
Yep.
Yes. But never, ever speak disparagingly about seamen. If you could hear some of the terrible things they went through in order to make a living, and nowadays people speak as if, that was nothing, just nothing. I think I better stop talking now, or I might say something that I might regret. But God bless you all, and may He continue to bless our 3 beautiful islands, Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. Thank you very, very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss Georgette.
Thank you, Miss Georgette, and you have a great day, and please stay safe as well. Okay, Mr. Funtz?
Well, there's a lot of things have happened since I last had an opportunity to speak. But I want to agree, with Miss Georgette. I listened carefully to what Ms. Charlene had to say, and of course, Dr. Steve McField. And while I do understand that there are people who don't understand what seafarers have done for this country, I think the vast majority of the people that matters do. Mm-hmm. And I want to say that we talked about the law firms, the banking, tourism, construction, all these things that we mentioned, and people are saying that, that's where prosperity came from. But they all came from seafaring. Mm-hmm. All of those things came from seafaring, and those who don't know that, they need to find out. But the thing about it, while Dr. McField said that it should have been done a long time ago, I believe that now is as good a time as any. And we, as Caymanians, need to take care of ourselves. This is our story. Mm-hmm, we need to tell the story. We need to stop allowing people to tell our story for us. And so we need to control the narrative. I want to say that we talk about women involvement, and yes, I wholeheartedly agree. The men were out there earning and sending the money home, but the women were managing the country, and they were managing the household. They were managing the children. They were contractors. They managed the funds that came in and built homes while the husbands were away. And these people are people that need to be recognized by everyone. And there's a story that I heard, from in one of my conversations, because I speak to a lot of the older seafarers every chance I get. And one of my visits to Mr. Bernard Watler, he was talking about back in the day when there was nothing here to do. And he explained to me, he said, Alfonso, he said it was, I've told this story before, but I hope I never forget it, because it is, to me, the real meaning of how seafaring worked for our country. Mm-hmm. He said there was nothing here to do. He said the place was like cement. You couldn't get anything to grow. It was a difficult existence. Men had nothing to do. There was no work. Mm-hmm. And he said when the shipping industry took off and the men started to go away and send money back home, he said it was like you threw fertilizer over the whole place and things just started to spring up. It gives you cold chills when you hear that kind of explanation. Yes. But that was how he explained it to me. And from that came everything else, regardless of who wants to accept that or not. And I am proud. I had many uncles. My father was a seaman. As a matter of fact, I am now a member of the Seafarers Association myself.
Congrats.
Because my father was a seafarer.
Yes.
You know, and I encourage other Caymanians, male and female, to pick up that opportunity because the seafarers have made that available to us to ensure that that legacy continues. While we may not have gone to sea, we can go in there and we can learn from them, and we can be the ones who continue to carry that torch. So, yes, I don't believe that the celebration of our seafarers is going to end at the end of 2021. There are lots of things that are going to be happening to make sure that that seafarers are kept in the forefront. We also have OC. I started talking about the registration process that we're working on. We have government e-services, Mr. Ian Tibbetts and his team, Ms. Kimberly Solomon as well, and a few others who, Mr. Can't remember his last name now, but a few other people who are involved in e-services that have stepped up and are helping us to build this database that we need done. Okay. Everybody's busy. All these departments are busy. Public Works is busy. E-services, they're all busy. But they have understood the importance of this, and people have kind of dropped other things to give us a hand with this, to get this going in a good time. And I want to thank them for it.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break now. Mr. Fonso, we know that you were due to leave at 9:30, but I'm going to ask you to stay until 10 o'clock if you can oblige us. We have about 3 calls queued up, and I'm sure that there are more will be coming in as well. So can you oblige us to stay until 10 o'clock, Mr. Fonso?
Yes, I'll be happy to.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a commercial break, and those callers who are on hold, hang in there. We will take your calls as soon as we return.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. 122 Industrial Way, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers and stay prepared. 949-2511. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Celebrate Cayman invites you to the dedication and groundbreaking ceremony for Seafarers Park on Thursday, the 25th of February from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Come and join us and get a look at the vision and plans for the new waterfront national landmark.
Seafarers Park will serve as a site for us all to come together as a community in the heart of our capital.
Join in the celebrations at the dedication and groundbreaking ceremony for Seafarers Park at the former Tower Building site on Thursday, the 25th of February from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We hope to see you there.
We sailed on the sloop John B, my grandfather and me.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 4 callers on hold, so when we get back to the phones, we're going to ask everyone to please be as brief as possible because we do have lots of persons. Before we go there, very quickly, 12th of January 1967, Trade Winds newspaper, photograph of Mr. Fred E. Elman, the E stands for Elman Scott, son of Mrs. Vera Scott of Watering Place, Cayman Brack, who successfully passed his examination for his Liberian Masters, that is captain's license. 30-year-old Elman is presently employed by National Bulk Carriers as a chief mate on the Edward L. Steineger, having been with the company since 1955. 30 years old and his Liberian license. The brack. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Oh, see, just before they...
Sure.
Am I live? Probably not. Sorry.
Go ahead, put the caller through, Mr. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Go right ahead.
Good morning. I'm not...
Go ahead, caller. We're hearing you.
Yeah, I'm not... Can you hear me?
Yes, we are.
Oh, good morning. Thank you very much for your very, very noble and seriously important historical effort, Mr. Wright. This is an invaluable part of who we are as a people, and it needs to be redefined and solidified and indelibly imprinted in everything to do with our education system. I have a suggestion. It is a small one. There have been historical maritime scenarios that have occurred over time, and I would like for us to pay attention to highlighting the stories. There have been ship explosions, there's been war, there's been the Bay of Pigs, and if we could solidify those stories to attach them to the ongoing saga of the maritime history of Cayman, it will help to indelibly write on the minds of youngsters where they're coming from and where they can go because of a path that was placed and made sure by the elders. Our women have been, I think we have one of the largest group of women who have gone to sea with men from any one jurisdiction in the world. I think we need to examine that and make it a part of our history because women going to sea was a significant privilege and an indication of the scholarship and the technical expertise of the people who were mariners who were able to take their wives with them. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller, for that.
Yeah, if I could quickly, I think I need to reply to these as they happen because they pile up on me and I can't remember what the first person asked. I want to say that as part of our plans for Seafarers Park will be a digital kind of wall of history. My boss, Mr. Samuel Rose, speaks to it as akin to the Vietnam War Memorial, where people can go and look for the names of their lost loved ones on a wall. And we want to do something similar here because we consider our seafarers in that same light. But it won't be a static thing. It won't be a wall that we have names carved out. It'll be something digital that you can touch it and you can search for the people that you want to, and somebody that's come behind you can do the same thing. So it's going to be a living history, historical thing there. But what it will also do with the things that Carl just spoke about, we will be able to embed the stories like he just talked about. In connection with our seafarers about those important happenings, whether they were good or bad, but they form part of history as well. And also on the website that we're building, the database that eServices is building for us, those stories will be there as well. So the website will be a direct connector to this wall, this digital wall that will be part of Seafarers Park.
Got you. Okay. We still have 3 callers on hold. So again, callers, please try to be brief as possible so that we can accommodate everyone. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I want to congratulate Mr. Alfonso for the role he's playing in all of this and promoting the seamen.
Certainly.
I also I've been wondering, how is it the seamen are going ahead without the counterpart, the Global Seamen's Union? Now, everything that happened with the seamen when after the global seamen came into being, the global seamen was a part of it. Now, if it was not for the global seamen, the future of the seafarers would not have been as rosy as it turned out to be. I can assure you that, because I went to sea in 1954, and at that time I hear that they started taking men in 1947 from Cayman. Well, from time they started taking men from Cayman until 1959, that the Global Seamen's Union was established, the wages and conditions stood static, no increase, no changes. After the Seamen's Union came into being, we got an increase, and every 3 years thereafter, we got a new contract with the company and got increasing wages and conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can tell you what I know, because I happen to have been a Global Seamen's delegate on several of the ships, both on licensed and licensed delegates. And I also worked for 3 years in the Global Seamen's Union office.
So caller, where would we get information about the Global Seamen's Union as now? Because I'm not sure that office still exists. So if Mr. Fonzo and his group wanted information about the Global Seamen's Union, where would they be able to get that information? Or would they be able to tap into persons like you who were involved with it?
If I could, OC,
Sure.
This is Mr. Trevor Watler.
Okay, yep.
And one of the persons that we interviewed, and so I pretty much know the story here.
Okay.
And it is a part of what we have to do, but there is so much that needs doing right now. We can't simply tackle everything at the same time. And while it's a part of our plans, he gave me a tremendous amount of information.
Great.
We did an oral recording with him, as well as notes and stuff that he gave us. And I just want to assure him that it's part of the whole package of what we need to accomplish. But we had to prioritize some of the things to get moving. I have to refer to him as Lion Trevor. That's the way I always refer to him. Your efforts and the importance of the Global Seamen Union is something that we all understand, and it's not going to be forgotten, but it's part of the process that we will get to.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Trevor, for that. We can grab one more caller, Ms. Susan, before we go to our last commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, because I was expecting a call before me since you had three.
Okay.
Good morning. It's Alice May here. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning,
and
Miss Alice May.
Talk about Cayman. It is so dear to my heart and all of us, and I'm old enough to remember even the Mosquito Key days and the Southwell and the National Bulk and everything else. And we have so much to celebrate. Thank you, Alfonso, for being there, and Margit and all who have been working with government to remind us of where we came from, the foundation laid to make Cayman what it is today. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen just in the 60s. It began before that time. A couple of quick points. We must never, in my opinion, erase any of our past in order to catch up with the 21st century.
Caller, you're coming in muzzled. I'm not sure whether or not there's something in the background, but you're coming in a little bit muzzled. Or muffled, I should say. Sorry.
Sure.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Oh, okay, I said, in remembering our past, we must not erase things like Harbor Drive. That's a beautiful little name. And I've been thinking that maybe we'd leave Harbour Drive, called Harbour Drive, and then from the junction of Harbour Drive at Old Fort George down to Mary Street Junction, that could be Seafarers Way. And then we have the planned Seafarers Park. So we're retaining what the memories we have from the past with Harbour Drive, and then celebrating the seafarers, long overdue, and then really having a celebration there in the Seafarers Park, which I am so happy that the tower site is being used for something for the people of the Cayman Islands, as opposed to just another commercial building for whatever cause. And in that park, I would expect, and I'm sure that will be happening, not only will be celebrating the men who went to sea and the women who accompanied them, but the women as a whole of the Cayman Islands who stayed here and kept the good ship Cayman going while their men were battling the waves and making a living that way. The women were taking care of the home front. And the park, no doubt, could be designed in such a way that there was a section that is celebrating the women's role in the development of Cayman alongside the seamen who built it. So a lot more I'd say, but I know time is not there for us. Thanks very much, and I'll be listening always, and if there's any way I can help, I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. We're going to take our last commercial break. We have 2 callers on hold. Those are going to be the last 2 callers because we want to give Mr. Fonzo an opportunity to respond to everyone who said something and to give us the final closing comments in relation to the groundbreaking ceremony. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vant Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vant Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900 or a sporty CHR Hybrid starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota. Go hybrid. Go to Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
This is an important public service announcement. In accordance with the standards in public life law, all candidates seeking election for public office must submit a declaration of interests before filing nomination papers on Monday, 1st March 2021. The standards in public life Schedule 1 declaration form can be found on the Commission's website, www.standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky. Again, all electoral candidates must submit their declaration of interest before nomination day. To facilitate a smooth and expedient verification process, the Commission is requesting submission by 10 a.m. Friday, 26 February 2021. For more information, visit www.standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky or call the Commission office at 244-3685.
This message is brought to you by the Commission for Standards in Public Life and the Elections Office.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is the Executive Chair of Celebrate Cayman. I'm looking for something very quickly here. We talk about the standards in public life, and we're talking about the location of their location. And I just wanted to, they sent me a message. I'm not sure if that's coming through on the commercial itself, but for those of you who need to submit those forms. The Standards in Public Life office is located at the second floor of our Artemis House. That is 67 Fort Street, Georgetown, Grand Cayman. So I just wanted to pass that on to you because they shared that with me on, I believe it was Friday as well. Let's go to the phone lines and take the last two callers for the morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my friend?
Pretty good. Again, good morning to Alfonso.
Good morning.
I just want to be a hero for the first time.
Mr. Rupert.
Yeah. by giving the women the title that they deserve, because I know while the men are happy to have it, but they have to share it, because the women took care of the children. They stood responsible for every part of human life in the Cayman Islands. While we were out to sea, getting some sea air, they were here fighting mosquitoes and such things. While some of them, I guess, even at that, were twisting strand to make that rope.
That's right.
You know, women had it extremely hard, and I would like to say congratulations to all our women of that day. Well, see, I had about 5 years of mosquito.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the northwest gale that was 90 miles an hour wind in a cat boat.
Wow.
I bailed from about, I would guess it to be about around 9:30 in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon to keep the boat afloat, while my captain and my chief mate, I guess we'll call them, they went on the sail because they got cold. And, you know, I've had 11 years of national boat carriers. I began with the old Ulysses, the oldest ship that they had. And I guess that it's only God mercy why we haven't died of lung trouble or, you know, things of that nature, because she was so dirty that every morning you got up, you thought your nose was a smokestack blowing out the suck that were created by the boilers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came home and I entered the building force. I stayed there for 9 years. And then I joined immigration, and I was there 19 years.
Yep.
And you know, of all the praise of men, seamen, well, particularly the seamen, I've never heard my name called. I say, well, you know, if I look somewhere else to get a hero job. But I just want to say, I thank those who are responsible for forming this association about men and their heroes. And I think it's a good thing to keep it up. Thank you, Alfonso, for being such a stalwart in these things. And maybe sometimes, if I live long enough, I'm already made 86.
Congrats.
Congratulations, yep.
Okay.
I don't know how much more, but, you know, lots of pains, almost crippled in the legs. But with all of that, I just thank God for all that we have.
Okay, caller, I want to thank you very much for that. We need to grab the one more caller before we close off. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning, Mr. O.C. and my dear friend.
Hey, good morning, my friend. Miss Lucille, how are you?
Yes, good. I know Mr. Alfonso would know that I would call because he seconded a motion with me, the contributions of women. And I am a child of seamen, and I'm a child of a woman who worked hard for seamen. And I am going to say here that my mother was not just a friend. She was a hard worker for the seamen. And I always said without her, they would never get on the boat, because if they didn't pass their physical, they would never get onto the ship. So I have to remind people that women not just were friends or spouses, but they worked in the field. They may not have gone on the ship. And I hope when we're doing the park, and I stand here to remind them that in this day of gender equality, we must hail our women who worked so hard during those days and who still are suffering, because some of them are not receiving any of the recompense from the seamen at all. And Alfonso and I brought that motion, fought hard to make sure that the women who were spouses or sisters or cousins, they got something off it. And I will be watching attentively to see how much, not my mother as a friend, but my mother as a worker for the seamen, and all of them will praise her. She was not just a friend of the seamen. She worked hard. And I can cite a whole book on how she helped the seamen while she tested their urine. Well, she would have said something else. While she tested her urine. So I just want to remind us in this 21st century where it is that we have to place women. The Caymanian woman who stayed home, laid the blocks, carved out the land, saved the money, saved it well, did everything they could with that money. They were our first economists, I would say, who helped us to
money managers. That's right.
That's correct. So I want us to remember that, because I will be always looking out for that. And OC, your mother was big into that too.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Lucille. Thank you very much.
To this part.
Yeah.
So, bye.
Mr. Fons, lot to respond to and not a whole lot of time.
Well, it's so true though. But if we do understand what's happening here, that while we talk about people not recognizing our seafaring heritage as the true bedrock for building the three Cayman Islands, I think it's clear to us here listening here this morning that anybody who don't understand that, they're way behind the times. They don't really understand what's happening. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's important for us to tell the story, tell our own story, so that we can record for times to come exactly what happened, who deserves the credit, the many sacrifices that were made, the many lives that were lost, to take us to where we are right here today. Men, women, children. There's an awesome story about a gentleman still alive from West Bay who on his first trip out at 7 years old, and there were times that things like this had to happen because there was nothing here for people to do, and everybody who was able-bodied had to make a contribution to their family. And of this gentleman arriving in his first port and could not see the shoreline of this new country and had to stand on a bucket in order to see over the rails of the boat. And so, and then there were so many young Caymanians who could not finish school because they were needed to help earn a living to raise their siblings and help mother and father. And the money that started coming back home allowed a lot of these children then to continue going to school and not have to get into child labor at the time. So we have to come to terms with the whole context of the contributions of seafaring in the building of a country, of nation building. And for
it's not just one dimensional.
No,
it's not one dimensional.
It's multidimensional.
Yes.
You use a very good word there. There's so many parts to this, and it's going to take us some time, but we need to keep talking because I can't keep everything in my head. Neither can Marzita, neither can Mr. Rose. I'm just saying that there's so many aspects, there's so many pieces of this that we have to continue to put together to.
And I'm going to interrupt you here and say that is why Celebrate Cayman needs to be a permanent department in government. It needs to be properly funded. It cannot be political, which means that if a new administration comes into place, you and Marzita should not be moved, from there because some other politician comes in and feels that, maybe I should give it to somebody else, one of my supporters or what. It needs to be independent to that effect, but it needs to be permanent because we have to continue to celebrate Cayman. There is so much about us that we haven't celebrated before. And now that the chains are becoming a little bit looser, those shackles on us, we have to continue to celebrate.
This is certainly the time. And I think that we have succeeded in awakening a lot of those good old Caymanian feelings in a lot of our people through Celebrate Cayman. And all right, I need to say this to you that while I appreciate what you say and what we do, I won't say that we are the only people that can do this. I have to.
So far, you're the only ones with the experience. You may not say, but we'll say it.
Yeah, well, okay, that's fine. But I do come in contact with a lot of people who love our country just as much and are willing to put the efforts in to make sure that things are done the right way.
They can come along when you retire.
But I do. We've been welcomed, openly received with open arms by the entire country, and I think that we've made a mark here, and I want to thank those, especially the Honorable Premier and Mr. Sam Rose for helping to build this and for showing an interest, keeping us on our toes, keeping an interest in making sure that Celebrate Cayman at least continues on for at least a short while. Yep. But I do believe that common sense will prevail here, and that somehow or the other, Celebrate Cayman or something like it will prevail and go on for some time to come. I just want to, I know we're at our time limit here, but I just want to remind people why I came here in the first place, was to advise that we're having the groundbreaking ceremony for the Seafarers Park on Thursday of this week, the 25th at 4 in the afternoon. We will have, of course, a few speeches. We have a few shovels to turn, and there will be some refreshments and so on there in the afternoon. Parking is, we're asking people, we'll make an announcement about that a little later. But for instance, the seafarers are going to be parking at the Seafarers Association at their headquarters and busing down to the cricket grounds, and then we move them from there. And we will be providing bus service from the cricket ground if people would like to go there and park, so that we can get them into the site and take them back to Seafarers Park. Parking is an issue for us, but I need to say this, OC, that we cannot continue to give up green spaces in our capital anymore for parking. It's something that people... it becomes part of everything we do now. Every project that comes up, we sacrifice things for parking. Yes. I will tell you this. Mr. Colin Lumsden from the town manager has advised us that there are 13,000 parking spaces within Georgetown. We need to utilize them better.
Yeah. Great. Okay. I just want to say very quickly, too, I'm not into the cancel culture and everything, and I appreciate what one of the callers spoke about in terms of Harbor Drive and stuff like that. But Seafarers Way needs to run from Moringa Town Road there all the way down to Whitehall. If you don't know where Whitehall is, near to Lobster Pot. Because we don't want to leave people out like Mr. Fox, what was his name? Mr. Willard Borden and stuff like that. Part of the Seafarers Heritage, Mr. Rail Borden, right next to that as well. So in this particular case, if we have to cancel the culture, let's cancel it. But Seafarers Way needs to run the whole way down there.
Yeah, well, I mean, history will record that this road was changed from this to this at a certain date.
Yeah,
You're not actually canceling it out.
Right.
But when you look at a name like Harbor Drive, and changing that to Seafarers Way, I think the significant change is more understandable and appreciated when we talk about honoring our seafaring heritage, and changing it to a name like that. I believe it's meaningful enough for us to accept that change.
Folks, no closing comments this morning. I've gone way past the time. So just join me again on Wednesday, and I will have an open invitation to Mr. Fonzo until the political candidates, if they do decide to come on for the record, because we will have hard questions here to ask them when they do come on. But open invitation for you, Mr. Fonzo, to come on here, because it sure generates a whole lot of interest and a lot of calls when we're talking about Cayman. Have a great day, folks.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
Today's